Hi, everyone, and welcome to Friday Night Live. I am your host, Crystal Fry. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Say hello as you come in if you're watching me live, whether you are on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn. Say hello as you come in so I can greet you back. And if you are watching this in the replay, please use the hashtag replay and let me know where you are watching from. Oh, good evening, Tim. My good friend Tim is in the house with us tonight. It's good to see you. Hope everything is going well. Tonight's topic is a good one. I feel like I say that every week, but they're all good topics. So tonight we are going to talk about the truth about procrastination. Procrastination. Every time I think about that word, the song that Carly Simons did way back, Anticipation, like that, the rhythm of that song like runs through my head. So I kind of like sing the word procrastination like it's anticipation. Anyway, side note there. So tonight we're going to be talking about procrastination. And we're going to talk about this from the standpoint of why do we procrastinate and what that real root cause is. And then we're going to talk about what we miss when we procrastinate. What do we miss out on when we procrastinate? And then how can we stop doing it, right? So we're going to jump on in. I want to start us out because you guys know that I love words and I love to look them up and share the definition with you so that we're all on the same page. This one I want to share with you because I kind of laughed a bit when I read it myself. So the Oxford Learner's Dictionary defines procrastination as the act of delaying something that you should do, usually because you do not want to. Duh. Right? I mean, that's like, I laughed and that's all I could think of was, well, yeah, we procrastinate on something we should do because we don't want to do it. Why else would we procrastinate? So let's take a look at why. Like, what is really the why? What's really the reason why we procrastinate? And you guys feel free to drop down in the comments why you procrastinate. Is it because the task is tedious? Maybe it's boring, like, I don't know, folding laundry or doing dishes or something else that's just, mundane, that is just not really exciting. So maybe we don't really want to do it. Is it because you're not certain about how to do it? Sometimes we're uncomfortable really starting a task or really getting into something because we're not really sure how to do it. And so we'll often let that lead us into procrastination because we're just not sure. Or maybe we have concern about the outcome. Well, if I do this, how's it going to turn out? And maybe that uncertainty keeps us from really getting into whatever that task is, whether it is making a phone call, whether it is applying for a job, whether it is, there are just so many things that I can think of, writing content, creating courses, just the list goes on and on. Again, household stuff in your personal life, stuff in your business life, stuff in your relationships. We procrastinate on the things that we need to do because sometimes, we don't want to do it. But really, the more I thought about this, and the more I really tried to kind of peel back the layers of the onion, that is, why do we procrastinate? Answering this question, why do we do this? The bottom line is fear. We procrastinate about the important things out of fear. Now, let me be clear. Usually we're not procrastinating doing our laundry because we're afraid of it, right? So we're not necessarily talking about procrastination and fear in the sense of doing those like mundane tasks that really are just boring and you don't want to do them. We're talking about those important things, the things that are actually going to be meaningful and moving you forward in some area of your life. The important things that we sit on, that we wait over, that we try to get ourselves ready for, that we have to kind of try to psych ourselves up to do it, that we know we should, but we just don't want to. What I've come to realize is that more often than not, regardless of the excuse that we give ourselves for why we're holding off on doing that thing, we're holding off out of fear. Maybe it's fear of the unknown, that uncertainty. We're just not sure. And so instead of taking a risk and making an attempt and maybe even getting it done, we wait because we're worried about that. We have a fear of that unknown. What's it going to look like when it's done? Maybe that is a fear of failure. Maybe we know what to do, like conceptually, right? Like we know what to do, but we don't really want to do it because we're afraid that it's not going to turn out the way we want. Maybe it's going to end badly. And that fear stops us from taking the necessary action to move forward. Maybe it's a fear of success. My friends, this is one fear of failure, fear of success, fear of the unknown. All three of these have really plagued me personally. But that fear of success is one that, for me, that's the most frustrating. Because why wouldn't we want to be successful? And it's not that we don't want to be successful. It's that we start to worry about what that's going to look like. How is that going to change our lives? If we get the promotion, if we get into the new relationship, if we exit a current relationship, if we start a business, if we write a book, and it goes well, how is that going to change our lives? And sometimes that will stop us more than anything from doing the things that we need to do. And Tim, you are absolutely right. Fear is your enemy. And I know you've heard me say this before. Fear is the number one tool that the enemy uses against you to keep you stuck, to keep you in that state of procrastination, to keep you in that false sense of security that, oh, it's fine, I can do it tomorrow. I can do that later. How important is it that I really do X, Y, and Z? How important is it that I really, submit this application? How important is it that is it really necessary for me to do it today? Maybe, maybe not. But it's often that fear that really keeps us stuck. And that's really one of the root causes of why we procrastinate on those things that are important. So let's talk about what we miss out on when we procrastinate. And again, drop down in the comments as you think about this, as you hear me talking about it, you think about it, think about some of the things that you have, maybe in your own personal experience or you've seen someone else experience. What are you missing out on because you are procrastinating? Maybe you are missing out on, here, I'm going to give you some things that I know from my own personal experience I have missed out on because I have procrastinated. A feeling of accomplishment, of getting it done, right? Here's my mile-long to-do list, which I no longer have because mile-long to-do lists are absolutely counterproductive to you getting anything done, just so you know. You can keep a running list of like a master list of like everything that needs to be done at some point, but just pull like 2 or 3 of them off a day to look at. Don't look at the whole list every day because then you get overwhelmed and then you really start to procrastinate on things because you're overwhelmed. But that feeling of accomplishment, that little hit of dopamine that you get that says, oh, yay me, I did this, it's done, it's woohoo, right? You miss out on that when you're procrastinating because you're not getting the thing done. Opportunities. When you're procrastinating, you are missing out on opportunities. I will guarantee you that. Again, speaking from my own personal experience, I have missed out on several, I'm going to just say many, opportunities because I have procrastinated. Exactly. Not applying for jobs because of the fear of the unknown. Absolutely. And those are opportunities that you've missed out on. Those are opportunities, the whole, what's the phrase? You snooze, you lose. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. When you're not taking those steps that are moving you forward, when you're not pushing yourself in that right direction and doing the things that need to be done, you are missing some probably pretty amazing opportunities because you're not positioned, because you haven't done the thing, right? Whatever the thing is, you haven't done the thing. You're not in position. You've procrastinated. You've missed the window of opportunity. And ultimately, you could be missing out on the blessing that's waiting for you on the other side of your procrastination. You can be missing out on the blessing that's waiting for you on the other side of your procrastination. Why? Because again, just like with the opportunities, y'all, we have to be in the right position. We have to be in the right place. We have to be in the right space to receive the blessings that are coming to us. We can't receive them if we have not prepared ourselves for them. If we have not prepared ourselves to receive them, we're not going to get them. If we've not done the things that we need to do in order to get us in that place, the blessings aren't coming. It's not, that's our fault, right? That's not God's fault. God is sending them to us. He's waiting on us to be in this right place. And if we don't get there, we can't receive. And again, speaking from my own personal experience here. Now, what I will say, and this is how amazing God works. God can use your procrastination. Okay. That's not a reason to procrastinate, but he can use it. And I actually experienced that today. I had been procrastinating on a task that I needed to get taken care of at the bank. Why? Because what did I say at the beginning? Because sometimes you just don't want to. Well, I just didn't want to. I just didn't feel like going into the bank. Well, today I finally, I had it down on my calendar. I said, no, I have to get this done. This is now a non-negotiable. This must get done. And so I went in and I was like, okay, I just need to get this thing done. Shouldn't take too long. I wound up having a really wonderful conversation with an incredibly amazing woman there. And just the conversation itself was a blessing. Being able to speak to someone, we both had some similar interest about some lost arts. And I was able to talk to her about some things that one of my kids is doing right now. And it was just a really fulfilling conversation. So I've been procrastinating on taking care of this task for about a month or so. And I was able to get it done, but I was able to be used in that place as well. So again, not a reason to procrastinate, but know that God can use that procrastination. So let me ask you, my friend, what are you procrastinating on? And if you want to type it in the comments, you absolutely can. But I really want you, it's more important to me that you ask yourself this question. What are you procrastinating on? What are you waiting? What are you delaying getting done? Because there's some fear associated with it. Because it's something new. It's something you're uncertain about. It's something that you're unsure of the outcome. What are you waiting on it to be perfect before you do it? If you are, my friends, you're going to procrastinate forever because it's never going to be perfect, just so you know. We'll go ahead and clear that one off the table for you. It's never going to be perfect, so, don't even worry about that. Oh, Tim, that's a good one. Retiring from my full-time job. So let's take that for an example. If that's what you are procrastinating on, now I want you to take that next step and I want you to ask yourself, why? Why are you procrastinating on it? And think about that. Take the time to really think about that. Why are you procrastinating on it? Is there a reason? Is there, are you waiting for something? Is there something specific? What is it for you? And just really think about that. When you can identify what you are procrastinating on, what are those tasks? What are those things? What are those activities that you need to complete? Whatever they are, What are you procrastinating on? And then ask yourself why. And be honest with yourself. Friends, when you are talking to yourself, it's you and you. Be honest with yourself. Why are you procrastinating on it? What is actually holding you back? And then I want you to think about it from a logical standpoint, because that's one of the ways that you can stop procrastinating, is to think about it logically. If this, then that, right? Remove your emotion from it, because having our emotions tied up into it, that fear, the worry, the doubt, the wringing our hands over whether or not it's going to be perfect, that emotion that we tie into thinking about whether or not we're going to do this task at hand, that's what gets us stuck. When you can remove that emotion and you can think about it objectively, you can look at it from a logical standpoint and say, okay, this is the task that I need to do. If I don't do this, what's going to happen? Okay, and list those things out. Again, like just, you can do it in your mind. I find it is more impactful if I write it down. If I actually write it down, because then it's right there on the paper in black and white, and I can't run from that, right? It's real now. I wrote it down. It's real. I can't just push away the thought. I've got it right here on paper in front of me. What's going to happen if I go ahead and do this? What's going to happen? Well, one, again, you're going to get it done. Woohoo, right? You have a little celebration. You have a little bit of success because you completed the task. But what else is going to happen? Is it going to get you closer? I sure do hope so. I hope you're not procrastinating and worrying about over things that are not actually going to be beneficial for you anyway. But, walk that through, again, from a logical, non-emotional, objective standpoint. Make a pros and cons list. What's going to happen if I go ahead and get this done now? What's going to happen if I don't? Weigh out your options. Let's see. Well, Tim, I'm going to use you as an example. Retiring from your full-time job. Okay? What's going to happen if I don't? Well, I'm going to keep working. I'm sure there's a whole list of things that will happen if you don't retire from your job. I'm sure there's a whole list, but for instance, you're going to keep working. You are still going to have to operate on the schedule of your job. You are going to have those time constraints, all of these other things. What's going to happen if I do go ahead and retire from my job? Well, you're now going to have time freedom, right? Because you will not be constrained to the working hours, the schedule, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Like, you have to remove your emotions from those important tasks that you procrastinate on, because our emotions are what get us tied up into why we're still sitting here and not doing the thing. Whatever it is, whether it's a big task or a small task. Like I said, I went to the bank today. This is a task. This is a small task. Okay, it was not hard. It did not take up a whole lot of my time. It was actually quite pleasant once I got there, because again, I had this wonderful, beautiful conversation with this amazing human being. I procrastinated on getting this done for a little more than a month because I just didn't feel like it. Because I'll do it later. Nah, not today, not feeling it, whatever. But you see, that procrastination put me a month and a half, however long it's been, it put me a month behind where I wanted to be in that area, taking care of that task. And that's usually when we kind of can spiral down into the beating ourselves up about it, which is the other reason why I want you to remove your emotions and think about it logically. I want you to think about it objectively. If this, then this. No emotions. Okay? Because when we pull our emotions into things like this, that's usually where we start to get stuck. So if you want to put some emotion to it, then I want you to think about when you're doing your listing out your pros and your cons, I want you to think about how good it's going to feel when you get it done. Use that as the emotion to focus on, not the fear, not the reasons why you aren't doing it and beating yourself up for not doing it and that weird spiral that we can sometimes go down. Focus on how amazing it's going to be when you get it complete, when you can check that box. I'm a list maker. I like to write things down on a list and then cross them off. I don't know. There's something really gratifying about crossing things off of my list. So, which is why I keep a master list, right? Because that helps me, it's fun to go back and look at, all the things I've done, that sense of accomplishment, right? That feeling that I did something. So that is what I want you to look at as you are thinking about why you are procrastinating about things. What's the real reason? Be honest with yourself. What's the real reason? And sometimes that reason will take you down a path where you can understand better what's holding you back. Sometimes it's timing. Nothing wrong with that. But sometimes, a lot of times, it's our own fear. And sometimes we have to do things afraid. It's okay to do it afraid. Do it, right? You have to do it. So I'm going to leave you guys with that tonight. Make sure that you really think about those tasks or those activities, those things that you are procrastinating on. Ask yourself, once you identify what they are, ask yourself why. And then take the standpoint of, okay, here's this thing. Let's break this down and figure it out. Remove your emotions, look at it objectively, do your pro and con, and then go get it done. I promise you, you will feel so much better when you do. You will feel so much better when it is done. So that is all I have for you tonight, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me, whether you are watching live or whether you have joined in the replay. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. As always, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all again real soon. Take care.